Hi, my name is Alex Golestani, and I am going to be persuading you on why to buy Toyota, a Toyota vehicle, Toyota truck, Toyota car. The first reason that you should buy a Toyota, and the biggest reason, is the reliability, the longevity. So our source, Michael Thompson, he's an auto industry analyst. His article was about the reliability and durability are the backbone of Toyota vehicles. Toyotas are known to last a very long time, 2, 3, 4, 500,000 miles you see on some of the Tacomas and Tundras. The reason why is because when Toyotas are manufactured, one, they don't change a lot of their parts. They use a lot of the same parts in multiple cars. So say the Toyota Highlander and the Toyota Tacoma both share the same 3.5 liter V6 engine. Like you can literally take the motor out of a Highlander and put it in a Tacoma. It's the exact motor. So with that in mind, now you look at other brands like Dodge, Chevy, Ford, Fix or Repair Daily. You look at vehicles like that where they use different engines and they put turbochargers on their engines, and you have all kinds of problems with them. They break it. You know, like my buddy has to change the transmission in his 2018 F-150. It's got 63,000 miles on it. He needs a new transmission. But that's a problem you're not going to see in a Toyota. Toyotas are made in very small batches, the parts for the Toyota, so the engines. While the bigger companies like other companies like Nissan, Ford make their engines, make a ton of them. So like a batch of 200 engines, while Toyota maybe only makes a batch of like 20 to 50. When they do that, now they can catch a lot of the defects and problems with their motors a lot faster, affecting less of their vehicles. Let me use Nissan as an example. Nissan has a recall on all the Altimas and Sentras and Muranos and Rogues for the CVT transmission. They didn't make the transmission right, and now those transmissions, they overheat very easily. There's a big defect in many of them. Those transmissions overheat easily, and they have to extend the warranty on them. And some of them are failing outside the warranty, and people are going and suing Nissan, which surprisingly they're winning. Which, to see a single person winning against a massive corporation shows how much at fault the corporation was. Another example I'll use is Hyundai. I personally own a Hyundai and am a victim of this problem. When they made Hyundai Sonatas, Elantras, Santa Fe, Tucson between the years 2011 and 2019, when they made all their engines, they had a big problem where they left metal shavings inside the motor. When those metal shavings, when the oil goes through the motor and it runs and everything, those metal shavings get loose and they clog up the oil passages, and you get something called rod knock, which is a starvation of oil to the pistons, to the drive, to the crankshaft. And when you don't have oil going to those major components, you get a knocking sound. You can't save those motors at that point. You have to change them. You have to, so the dealership, Hyundai's, have extended the warranty to 150,000 miles and 15 years. This problem happened to me twice. You'll get a P1326 code on your OBD reader, get check engine light, that'll be your code. That's how you know you'll need a new motor. Hyundai will give you one for free. And if you go to any Hyundai dealership and you look in the back, they have like a ton of crates just full of engines. There's just a ton of engines behind the Hyundai dealerships to show how many Hyundais their motors are failing. But if you look around, Toyotas don't have that problem. The second thing about Toyota that makes it a really great vehicle is the simplicity. There isn't a whole lot of tech, and like to find cooled seats in a Toyota is rare. Now you might really want that feature, cooled seats. Everybody wants cooled seats or navigation and Apple CarPlay, but these things break after so much time. You give it, 10, 15 years of owning that vehicle, all these things you paid all this money for in the beginning, they fail. So Toyotas, you get in a Toyota and it's the most basic and plain car you'll ever drive. But there isn't a whole bunch of technology that fail in a Toyota, which makes them a really great bargain for what you're paying for. And another reason I'll give to why Toyota is a great vehicle to buy is the resale value. If you go on Facebook Marketplace, Toyotas don't lose value at all. Personally, I'm in the market to shop for a 2016 Tacoma, the third gen Tacoma. You can't find them with 150,000 miles. They're selling for 25 grand. A 10-year-old, 9-year-old truck with over 100,000 miles on it selling for 25 grand. People are buying it. It goes to show the quality of a Toyota. And if you look on YouTube, you look on the internet, you see people with their Tundras and Tacomas, and they go 500,000 miles. They go 1,000,000 miles. I've seen on, I think it was a Camry or Corolla. 1,000,000 miles. Original transmission and engine. And to lead me to my last point I'm going to make about Toyota, they have, like I said, so the resale value, you resell them for a lot of money. They don't lose value, and it's reliability, and they're cheap to own. They're very cheap to own. The reason they're cheap to own is maintenance. Toyotas can withstand a lot of beatings. You know, most people don't do their oil that often. Most people do their oil every 10,000 miles. That's terrible for your car. Toyotas can withstand that because the way those motors are made, they're made to withstand the piston rings, and the bore of the cylinders are meant to, the way that those are engineered and designed, they can withstand, you know, being starved of oil a little bit. You know, the transmissions, you can dump the clutch in a Yaris, manual Yaris. There's a guy on Instagram where he has this Yaris, manual Yaris, and he literally will redline it and then dump the clutch in that Yaris. He's been doing that for 2 years, and the clutch hasn't failed on him yet. So it goes to show what you can get away with a Toyota. But say somebody doesn't have a whole lot of money at the time to go get an oil change, to go get the transmission fluid done. You can go a little bit over that recommended mileage without having catastrophic failures, saying your transmission going out in your F-150 at 63,000 miles. You're not going to have that problem with a Toyota because the way they're manufactured and engineered, they're just built better. They're more simple motors. They don't have as many computers. You know, they have great resale value. They'll honestly last forever. I mean, some Toyotas, they'll replace the frames under warranty before the motors go bad. Say those states that are like the Midwest where they have like a lot of rust, they'll replace the frames before they replace the engine and transmission. That's how crazy those vehicles are, how long they'll last. So in conclusion, these are the reasons that I would suggest buying a Toyota. This is why they're the best bargain. And this is why the competitors such as Ford, Nissan, or Hyundai won't ever live up to what Toyota has. And that's it. Have a good day.